up, Barn Fam? I'm back, and I want to talk about game planning. We're at the end of our open now. 20.5 got released last night, and I want to talk about a little bit of game planning to help us understand what to do in different workouts. Now, in this video, I'm going to talk about how we want to game plan for a testing workout, and then in the next video I'm going to talk about how we want to game plan when it comes to practice workouts, right? We talked about a couple weeks ago. There's quite a big difference between those two different types of workouts, and that's what we should be distinguishing every single day in the gym. Now, obviously in the open's all about testing, so this is very much a testing workout for us. So that means we want to set it up with the hardest possible scales that we can do, right? The hardest possible version of the workout we can do, and we want to go at it as hard as we can. Now, there's a couple important things that we want to do whenever we're recognizing we are going into a testing workout and what we want to prepare for. Now, first things first is I want to understand what my strengths are, all right? That's the first piece, understanding what your strengths are, right? If you're, say, a taller person, a little bit stronger person, you might be you might be a little bit better at the calories on the rower and the wall balls, right? If you are somebody who's a little bit smaller, better at gymnastics, you might be better at the muscle ups, right? So it's important to first identify where your strengths are. What are the things that I'm particularly good at, right? And that's how we do the first part of game planning. Now, the second part of game planning is your pacing. What should your pacing look like? Now, your pacing has a lot to do with understanding the time domains of the workout. Now, this workout has a 20-minute cap, and it's broken up however you want to break it up, right? Obviously, you want to get it all done as quickly as you can. Now, with this being a 20-minute cap, let's say you're an athlete who's, going to be pretty proficient on the row, or going to be pretty proficient on the wall balls. You like both of those movements, but the muscle up is something that you struggle with. You can get a handful of them at a time, but you're not going to get a lot of them. Well, going into that, this is a great workout to game plan. This workout, being able to be broken up however you want to, is all about game planning and pacing, right? So you get to set it up exactly to your pacing. So you're going to perform your best in this workout by setting it up and game planning it the best. Now, back to pacing. What we want to do is we want to get an idea of kind of what we're able to do, right? So let's say you can get 5 muscle ups in a row, right? And this can be anything. It could be muscle ups, pull ups, any gymnastics movement that we're going to hit a wall, right? So let's say you're able to get 5 muscle ups without stopping, and that's you've never done more than 5. 5 is your max, all right? Let's say we're going to cut that down to about 3, right? 3 is pretty easy. I feel like every time I can jump up there, I can get 3, all right? And then we'll look at the rower, 80 calories, right? We decided you're pretty good on the rower, right? So that doesn't necessarily mean that we're gonna try and do a ton of calories at one time, right? That means you can use that as a little bit of your rest, as your recovery, where you're gonna get back from these other movements, right? So 3 muscle ups here. We probably only need to do 6 calories on the rower, right? Because these numbers all kind of match up, right? So we definitely need to keep them in scale with each other. And then 6, if I'm going to do 6 calories, right, we probably only need to do 12 wall balls, right? That means now I can roll through this workout just like that until I'm done, and I know every time I go back to the muscle ups, I'm going to be confident I'm probably going to be fine whenever I jump up and I need to get my 3 done, right? And if you're getting towards the end and you're starting to feel really good, and you're like, hey, I'm not getting as fatigued as I expected myself to be, now we can kind of bump that number up a little bit. You're like, well, maybe I got 12 left. Let's go for 5 this time, right? You get up there, and if you fail one, okay, it is what it is. You just move on, right? So that's pacing, and that's creating an understanding of what that's going to look like. Now, another component of pacing is understanding timing. Timing is saying, all right, how long is this going to take me, right? This workout is a set amount of reps, so it is what it is. But one thing that's important to take into account is transition time. What you can do is you say, all right, well, I know coming off the rings, I'm going to shake my arms out for a second. It's going to take me a second to get on the rower. Let's say even if you're moving it, you're going to use 15 seconds in between there. And then you go from the rower to the wall balls. You're going to have to unstrap from the rower, get over to the wall, get your medicine ball, pick it up, get set, get ready to go. let's say that's another 15 seconds. So we got 30 seconds per round there. This is going to take you roughly about 13, a little bit over 13 rounds to finish the whole workout, right? So over 13 rounds with 30 seconds per round, well, now we're wasting 6.5 minutes, right? It'll probably be 7 minutes when it's all said and done, right? Assuming we're able to keep that same timing and your transition from the wall balls back to the muscle ups. So it's important to understand that as well. So that might be a scenario where you say, all right, I don't want to give that much transition time. I don't think I need it. I think I'm going to be able to stay fresh on these 2 exercises. So let's bump the numbers up even more, right? So it's all very individualistic. It takes you understanding yourself and how you perform to be able to set a good game plan in motion and be able to figure out your pacing for the workout, right? This workout being purely a task-based workout, meaning it's a set amount of reps, it's all about you understanding how much you can get done at one time and be able to keep a high tempo the whole time. Whenever we start letting numbers get too big, right, they tend to tax us more, right? If I can keep numbers small and move quicker, right, and use my transition to short little rest periods, the better you're usually going to work through a workout. Now, the last part of all of this, the last part of pacing is execution, right? You hear it in fighting all the time. Everybody's got a plan, a perfect plan until you get punched in the face, right? And so that's very much true in CrossFit as well. Understanding that you're probably going to break down somewhere, right? We set a game plan, it's all fine and good, everything's wonderful until it falls apart, right? Which a lot of times it will, and that's okay. But being able to say, all right, I've fallen off my pace a little bit, I'm not doing exactly what I want to, this is beating me up a little bit more than I thought it was going to. Being able to bounce back and say, all right, I'm just going to stay with the plan, or being able to create small adjustments to your plan on the fly is a very important skill. The worst thing you can ever do is just throw your plan out the window, freak out because you're falling behind your pace, and then just try and grind through the workout. It's the worst thing you can do. It's all about creating a plan, sticking to it. If you get to the end of the workout and you're like, well, I probably should have done this a little bit more, probably should have set this a little bit more in my pace, that's a lesson learned for another day. But so that's pacing. If you have any questions about it, I'd love to hear about them and talk to you. Just drop questions below and let's talk. Thanks.